Jeff Johnson, good morning.
Yeah, what's up, Gary? What's up, Rick? That's big work. And
yes.
when we can see people making a difference like that on a local level, it's important. So really, really, really big up to Crystal on that. Listen, I got 3 things for you. There is a huge Supreme Court decision this week that is going to impact election night, you all. There's a 4-4 deadlock on Monday night that stopped a court order in Pennsylvania that mail-in ballots received within 3 days of November 3rd would still be counted. The challenge, Rick, as you well know, is so often they'll call these states before they have counted all of the ballots that have come in from absentee. And so, you know, your boy, John Roberts, sided with the liberals on the court, meaning that the lower court ruling would stand and that all of these votes will be counted as long as they are in by Election Day. And that's huge, especially in lieu of, I think this
Whoever would have thought that he would be the swing vote, Jeff?
But you know, he's done that before. I mean, he's been a voice of reason on certain pieces of in certain spaces, on certain cases, on certain rulings rather. Trust me, I'm not here to say that I think that he is an example of liberalism or even being a moderate by any stretch of the imagination. But he's been principled in places that I expected him to be political. So, and this is one of those. So it does create a great opportunity for Democrats in particular, who are going to have huge numbers of mail-in votes. But again, Rick, what that means is this is not going to be election night. This is going to be election season because you're talking about needing upwards to a week to count all of those ballots and ensure that they are part of not only Pennsylvania, but if this ruling impacts other states. So we'll see what happens there. But I think that is a win for those of us that care about democracy. In other news, there was a Miami, Florida police officer, Rick, that was photographed wearing a pro-Trump face mask while voting at the city's government center. Like, it's just all kinds of wrong to that story.
Wow.
Most states, you all, you can't campaign within a certain distance of the actual polls, which means you can't have signs, you can't have T-shirts, you can't have masks, you can't have anything. Of course, we're talking about Florida, where that is not a law. So it is, however, against police policy. And so he's been written up and will be facing disciplinary action. But again, you all, that in a lot of ways translates to voter intimidation. You got a police officer at the government center wearing a pro-Trump mask while voting. That speaks to some of the voter intimidation that we've been seeing. And I don't know if you've heard, Rick, there is what many believe to be this false letter that is been seen in, I want to say, Florida and Alaska, where it is supposed to be sent from the Proud Boys. And it is literally telling Democratic voters, we know you're a Democrat, we know where you live, we have all your information, and if you don't vote for Trump, we coming to see you.
Wow.
So the Proud Boys are saying that they didn't send it, of course, and when they do the research, they're finding that this email has been routed, I think, through Eastern Europe and through Saudi Arabia. So clearly somebody is trying to cover their tracks. The point being, you all, there's going to be all kinds of voter intimidation and voter confusion, and some of that may not be as blatant as this, but be aware of every single piece of information you get. And I think, like I said to you all on Tuesday, the FBI is looking into all of these. And so if you get something that you think is fraudulent, that's about either intimidation or false information about voting, please let the FBI know. We need to keep track of as much of this as possible in order to protect as many people going to the polls as possible. We got 13 days, Rick. And so, you know, Stacey Abrams said it best in an op-ed yesterday. She said that this really isn't about voting for people. This is about voting for policies. And if you don't love the people voting, just understand the policies that they will represent, like them or not, when they go into office, because policies impact people. And this really is not about personalities, despite what this president would like us to think. This is about policies that impact people. So I hope that you think about that as you're making the last-ditch decision whether or not to go to the polls, that our families are all going to be affected by this. Rick, y'all can hit me at Jeff's Nation on all social media. Appreciate y'all. Have a good Thursday, brother. I'll talk to y'all next week.